Hey guys, it's Max here. Just wanted to give you a heads up. When we were about to record this episode, this old lady knocked on my door, and me and Scott went and talked to her outside and got a little heated. We got a little mean to her, made fun of her for being really old and ugly, and she cursed our hardware. So this episode sounds a little bit less quality than you're used to, but it's a tale as old as time, really. So just stick with us this week, and next week we'll be back to beast mode. All right, guys.
Here comes the theme. Hello and welcome to the Critical Breakdown, the podcast where we start at the bottom of Rotten Tomatoes and work our way to 100% fresh. I'm Max.
And I'm Scott. And today we're talking a tale as old as time. Beauty and the Beast.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. You too, Owen. Welcome again.
He drops by.
We're talking the 91, right? Yeah, 1991 release.
1991 release.
I didn't watch the full new one.
But it's a 94% rated film.
That's correct. And it was my pick.
Your pick. Well, why'd you pick this one, Scott?
You know why. Because we watched it and it's great.
Well,
It's just really good.
Yeah. I guess everyone's about to hear why we watched it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's like I'm assuming this was the first animated movie to be nominated for Best Picture. Is that right?
I believe so.
It's happened a few times since they've expanded the number of nominees. Like Toy Story 3 was nominated.
I know Up was, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Up was the next one after this one to be nominated.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, it was when they expanded it from 5 nominees to up to, 10 now? But, no, it's a really good movie. That's fine. And I like the music a lot.
Yeah, the music's very good.
Yeah.
It's catchy. It's well written.
Yeah. And I feel like maybe in my age group more than yours, but everybody's favorite is The Lion King or Aladdin. It's like of those Disney Renaissance.
I think that's across the millennials.
Okay.
Man.
Well, I think Beauty and the Beast.
The elders as well as the youngest.
as well as the younglings.
The younglings, yes.
Well, I think Beauty and the Beast is better than both of those.
I'm still kind of like 50-50 on Beauty and the Beast and Lion King, but I'm a known Aladdin detractor.
Detractor?
Yeah, I'm not that fond of Aladdin.
Oh.
It's okay.
I'd love to unpack that.
You can. Just ask me about it. For me personally, Aladdin's never struck gold with me because he achieves everything through the lying thing. I was telling you about that. And he doesn't really learn a lesson from it. Really, the value he learns is I lied a lot and it paid off. And for me, it just never really felt right.
Yeah.
I used to be a street urchin with a monkey, and my life didn't turn out that good from all my lies either.
You're doing pretty good, though. We're sitting here in your palace.
But you know what it took? It took honesty.
Yeah.
And hard work. But no, it's just Aladdin's not my favorite. It has good songs, though. I do agree on that. And
Whole New World.
I could see why it would work for people.
Yeah.
It just has never been my personal favorite. But, dude, I love Lion King and I love Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
And as a whole, I like the Disney product line there. So,
which do you think is better, Beauty and the Beast or the Goofy movie?
That's not like a fair question.
It's because it's a Goofy movie. Right?
So Beauty and the Beast or Goofy movie?
Yeah.
That's hard to pick, man.
I don't think there's a word other than or that would make that question make sense.
Well, I wanted to make sure that you said Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
Because if it was Lion King, I'd pick Lion King easily. But I think from a filmmaking perspective, Beauty and the Beast is the better film.
Okay. But
on a personal level, that's tough, but I would probably still rank Beauty and the Beast just a little bit above it.
D2, The Mighty Ducks, or Beauty and the Beast?
Beauty and the Beast I'd pick.
Interesting.
I have not revisited a Mighty Ducks movie since I was probably since the second one came out, maybe the third one.
Did you watch the third one?
If it came out shortly after the second one, then I probably did.
I don't remember the time difference.
Yeah.
What about, this is the whole podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast or Wreck-It Ralph?
I liked Wreck-It Ralph, but I think I like Beauty and the Beast better.
Okay. Beauty and the Beast or Look Who's Talking?
I would definitely pick Beauty and the Beast because I have not seen Look Who's Talking in a while, but I did like that they did that weird like miniature sperm cell.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
That was a good scene.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast doesn't have anything like that.
Beauty and the Beast or Look Who's Talking 2? Or is it Look Who's Talking Now, I believe?
I think those are separate films.
Yeah.
But because there's 2 TO and then Now is...
Okay.
Yeah,
The third.
Yeah. I think Beauty and the Beast is going to sweep a lot of these questions here.
Well, we still have 50-ish minutes to fill, so
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast or...
Citizen Kane.
Beauty and the Beast.
That's fair.
Yeah. We can change the format if we want. I'll have to tear up my notes.
Yeah, let's just scratch that list out there. I saw your Dane Cook section. There's at least 3 movies there. But yeah.
Live.
Well, have you watched anything as good as Beauty and the Beast recently, or maybe not as good?
Well, I watched the newest Beauty and the Beast, and it's pretty piss poor. But I think we'll unpack that a bit later. Mm-hmm. I did see the newest Spike Lee joint, Black Klansman. Is that the accepted pronunciation of it?
Klansman, yeah.
Black Klansman, like the title of the movie.
Yeah.
Because it's like all one word.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're supposed to like mumble through it or anything, but I think it's Black Klansman.
I just want to make sure, Max. No, you know how I am with my pronunciation.
It's actually Black Klansman.
That's what. Okay,
yeah.
So I did see. Let's start from the top. I did see Black Klansman.
Yeah.
I don't actually think that works.
No, it doesn't.
But the movie does work very well.
Yeah, you were telling me you're very up on this right now. You just watched it?
I literally I drove from the theater here and I said, Max, we have to record.
He's like, put the microphone on. I'm ready.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it's really good. It's a really cool story.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never heard of this before.
Yeah.
Well acted.
I mean, yeah.
Well shot.
I'd never heard of it either.
Yeah.
So
it's just a really good movie. There's so many direct parallels to our sitting president.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And then the last few minutes of the movie is Owen piped out. The last few minutes of the movie is footage from Charlottesville.
Oh wow!
And it's like super powerful.
That's crazy, especially with that being like exactly a year ago.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that was intentional on release, but
yeah. What
came out? I know.
Wasn't it like June of last year?
No, it was this weekend of last year. Yeah, August 11th, because or 12th. I was out of town for my anniversary, which was yesterday. So
Mazel tov, by the way.
Thank you. But that's always now kind of like a sad thing that'll come up, is I'll think of that. Yeah. So, but it also makes me, think about the better things in life.
Okay.
So
perspective.
Yeah.
Well, this movie is one of the better things of life.
I want to see it, man.
Yeah, it's good. You should. I'm not gonna really dive in because it's a freshie.
It's a freshie.
But Adam Driver is really funny. Well, funny is not the right word. The movie does have humor.
Yeah. I mean, Spike Lee tends to carry humor very well in dark subjects.
For sure.
Like, I can't think of... I mean, he's had some films there's not much to laugh at, but usually there are comedic moments that he intentionally puts in there. Yeah. So,
and that's kind of where this film falls as well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just a really good movie.
Cool.
I was glued to my seat. And you know what? I give AMC a lot of crap for the popcorn situation, which is unacceptable still. You see one of these morning movies, even on a weekend, it's like a $5.80 ticket.
Dude, it's great.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
I know, I mean, with Movie Pass, the whole thing, with you having to leave it behind. Yeah. You got to rethink your movie approach, and those early morning shows are nice, man.
They're not bad. AMC has their own plan that's kind of attractive, but then I'd have to go to the AMC theater every time, so I don't know about that.
I want them to sweeten that deal a little bit before I consider it more.
Well, how could they sweeten it?
I mean, right now, it seems fine for what it is, but like you said, I have to go to, AMC, which is the point of it.
But that is the theater you mostly go to.
Mostly now.
Probably 90% of your films, right?
Recently.
Yeah.
But that's because the local theater that our friend and frequent guest host, Kara, they were doing some renovations there. So it booted me away for a little bit.
Interesting.
Just when they were upgrading their seats. And so I started going to this one and I stuck with it. But
I didn't know that's why you had switched.
Then I discovered the early morning shows of like new releases.
Yeah, they're earlier than most other theaters.
Yeah, so you can usually catch a 9 to 10 a.m. show, which is nice for me. It works for my schedule. So,
but it's 3 movies a week.
Yeah, and I think you get points too.
I don't know.
You get the premiere line where you get like the faster popcorn line.
Yeah, but that you don't even have to be a member of their premium for that.
Oh, yeah. But
be a Stubbs member.
Yeah, which I don't sign up for a lot of those things.
Yeah.
Do you?
No, I don't do that one. But I don't know what they could do to sweeten the pot.
It's just me saying that, like, in general.
Okay.
I would have to double check the price point to see what it's at right now.
It's $20 a month. You get 3 movies a week. You can bring a guest with you.
For a week's not bad.
I mean,
what's the guest price?
Oh, like the guest can use one of your tickets.
Oh, okay.
So like that, you're not limited to like showtimes, no search pricing. You can buy your ticket online.
Yeah.
IMAX and stuff is all covered. Though that AMC's not an IMAX.
Yeah.
But.
Well, it sounds like a decent deal, but like I said, I just, for me, I need to really weigh all the.
Yeah. I mean, you would have to see 2 movies a month to make that worth it.
Yeah.
Like just financially, which
I can do.
Yeah. But do you think you do that now?
Not recently, but my life's like been way too busy. Yeah.
So like the
but I wonder if maybe one of those programs would motivate me more. Yeah. Like I know you started just knocking out as soon as you signed up for Movie Pass, you saw like 8 movies in a week. Basically,
I do see more movies in the theater than you. I would have been seeing a lot of them anyways.
But some of those I know you went and caught like just because you could, which is the idea of it. You know, But I personally need to up my in-theater game, and I'm looking for ways to do it. I actually have a gift card I bought on Groupon where I've been buying my cheap AM tickets with that. So, I mean, I could at least get 5 showings for half the price of what that would cost me on a morning show. So it's like it's been good motivation. But unfortunately, like I said, I mean, this was my anniversary weekend, so I couldn't catch anything this weekend. But most weekends I've been too busy. We haven't been able to game, you know?
That's true.
I'm surprised, actually, it's been so easy to record and watch things lately, because usually that's like the one thing that gets rocked first is our schedule. But you probably had an easier schedule than me recently.
We just slotted into a nice little rhythm here. You know, we get that usually a Tuesday watch and then a Sunday morning record.
Yeah. So, it's been nice.
Yeah.
Well, guys.
How about that poll, though, man?
Yeah.
Rigid and tall.
Rigid and tall. Oh, yeah, the poll.
Like a flag poll.
Yeah. Don't go to that webpage, guys.
Rigidandtall.com?
Yeah.
That's actually my website.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to, when I finally get that rock hard abs.
When tcb.com/poll actually redirects you to.
It's rigidandtall.com.
Yeah. So,
that's what I named my testicles. Rigid and tall.
You didn't. I was going to say, before we get to the poll, you haven't asked me what I've been watching.
Oh, I'm sorry. What have you been watching?
Excuse me. We tried to watch a very popular film that was very nominated and had a lot of accolades, and me and my wife both just didn't like it, so we did not watch it.
Okay.
Which was 3 Billboards.
Oh, okay.
We got like probably past the first act, and I had checked out already. It just was not hitting with me.
Yeah. My sister just watched it as well, and she said the same. Well, she finished it, but she said she didn't like it at all.
I recognize there was a lot of skill put into certain parts of it, and I don't detract from any of that. But for me, it just did not land, and I couldn't get in the groove. And so afterwards, we turned it off and watched Battle of the Sexes, which I enjoyed.
I thought it was boring. Battle of the Sexes.
It's not like super exciting, but it's interesting. It's intriguing because it's like just the characters for that one. They were just fun to watch, like their different worlds. So, and I like seeing Carell and Stone do stuff. But I was let down with 3 Billboards. I'm not gonna lie, but it was just like I couldn't find a drive to get me to keep watching it. Okay. So, but I recognize that there is like I said, honestly, the person who I enjoyed the most seeing their performance was Lucas Hedges, and I had to mention that to you. So,
I like 3 Billboards personally. But,
I mean, a lot of people did, and that's the thing is, I mean, it's like 92 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't know.
I think it's above 90 for sure. So it's just like obviously most people it worked for them, but I just felt like saying, I tried to give it a shot. It wasn't even one specific thing that killed it for me. It was just little things just weren't landing.
I mean, it's definitely a dark movie. And I know I don't want to speak for former podcast guest Sarah Tennant, but she said she didn't like that. And the ending there's no happy ending. There's not a lot of growth for the characters and stuff. But I personally enjoy, I don't need a movie with a lot of good spirits about it.
And for me, it wasn't even that necessarily. It just felt almost like most of the actors were acting with a capital A, if that makes sense.
Overacting?
Some of them. Okay. And then some of it just felt it felt too much like I knew I was in a movie. I never once got the buy-in moment. And I think that's what didn't do it for me. initially. Like that's what kind of put the first crack there.
Yeah.
Was I don't know, for some reason I just couldn't get into the premise.
All right. Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, I recognize that it works for people, and I could see like the elements of it that would work if I had somehow been brought in. And that happens to me sometimes with films where I just can't get in on them.
Right.
But I just I wanted to be there because I do like Sam Rockwell a lot too.
Sam Rockwell's really good.
And like, I mean, everyone's good in the, like everyone in the film, I know they're talented is the thing. So it just was like, it was frustrating.
Yeah. Like I've bounced off other Martin McDonagh movies and just like I tried watching In Bruges and I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
But this one got me. So
I went with
what was it? Lucky? Did he do Lucky Number 11? Was that
Which, if he did, I have not seen that one.
He has another one. Lock, Stock. No, that's
a guy. Yeah.
He has another one like in that Seven Psychopaths. I think that was him. That might be what I'm thinking of. Sam Rockwell was in that one too.
But I do love Sam Rockwell. Yeah. And I heard like his performance gets really good throughout the film, so I was kind of wanting to see that, and so I just was kind of like, ugh.
He's the one character who has at least a transition.
Yeah.
He doesn't become like a good person.
When they drop 4 billboards, maybe I'll get into the sequel.
Yeah, the sequel. Yeah. The 4th billboard is Lucas Hedges. He puts a 4th billboard on. Says, "Where did you go, Mom?" But
that just goes to show, we've discussed before, like the RT score really just shows you what critics, how much enjoyed the film to a percentage. It's not like a qualitative score really in that sense.
There isn't really one qualitative score that you could use if you were looking for
sometimes there's movies that are highly rated that you might not like, and there's that goes for everyone. So it's just like it's an interesting discussion sometimes. So
for sure.
I would say if you don't like Beauty and the Beast, you're probably wrong.
Well, there you go.
But
so 6% of critics, fuck you.
Yeah, I checked for the Prairie contingency and it wasn't there. So
that's a weird thing to have to do.
Yeah.
Because there's like not an easy way. She's bounced around so many publications.
Yeah.
Prairie, we still would hate having on the podcast. Do not write in.
Please. Anyway, let's get back to this poll.
Yeah. Let's get back to my rigid and tall poll. I set us up with an awful segue, and then we segued out of it. So bringing us back in is a challenge.
Yeah.
But we had 2 front runners.
Yeah. Well, first off, I was a little surprised that Juno just got a single vote.
Yeah. Who voted for Juno? We'll wait.
My phone, I just got a text from Michael Cera. It was Michael Cera who voted for Juno.
He actually mentioned that on his recent interview on Hot Ones.
Yeah. So Juno did not make it far in this poll.
No.
Which is fine.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't really itching for Juno. So
yeah.
That's okay.
If you were itching for one thing, it was probably some Whiplash.
Yeah. That's what I had mentioned last week.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Whiplash did not make it to that kind of final 2.
Which is fine.
That's fine. I'll still watch it. I definitely want to see it. And after last week, man, you had me hyped. I was ready for it.
Yeah.
So you need to get those bots. Get those Russian bots next time, dude.
Yeah, next time. Yeah. Buy bots to rig our own polls.
So that means we had a showdown between Dazed and Confused.
Who knows, if I buy enough Russian bots, maybe I could get Whiplash elected president. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Guys, we're announcing a new podcast, The Political Breakdown.
Yeah. It's just me.
It's just
talking.
Just riffing.
Russia, guys. Russia. What about a podcast of political hot takes where all the takes are like decades old?
Dude, fuck yeah.
We're like, trickle-down economics?
Nixon. He's a liar.
Yeah. He is a crook. So there was one movie that didn't have one word in its title. It was Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
And in Arrival, we're duking it out to the end, to the very end, to the bitter end.
It's a fight, man. Yeah,
but then coming out standing is Arrival.
Arrival, yeah.
Here it is.
Arriving. So, I'm excited to revisit Arrival.
Yeah, I like Arrival.
I watched it on a early morning flight one time. Yeah. That's when I finally watched it. It was probably like from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. and it blew my mind. So I'm excited to revisit it and see if it blows my mind again.
Yeah. But do you have good memories of the plot and everything? Or
yeah, no, I have memories.
When I watch a flight on a plane, when I watch a movie on a plane, a lot of times they don't like stick for me.
I think I was like really in on that one. I can't explain it, but I was really.
I mean, it's a good movie.
I was like freaking flipping out. I loved it so much on the middle of the plane. So, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Very excited.
We've talked about it a good bit.
Yeah. So it'll be good to kind of put it to rest.
Yeah. And then we'll never talk about it.
Never again.
Just like we never talk about any of our other movies.
Yeah, I wonder what we talk about the most.
Of our movies that
our
we've
previous
watched.
movies, yeah.
Joe Dirt.
Probably Joe Dirt, Master of Disguise.
Gets a lot of shout outs.
Surprisingly, Good Luck Chuck does too.
Don't.
I didn't press
that's
it.
a sign.
I didn't press it.
Yeah. I don't.
But it does get referenced because we mentioned,
whenever we watch a rom-com, we talk about Good Luck Chuck.
Yeah, and how you and Dane Cook sound alike.
Yeah, cool. Real cool move, Max.
What else? What else did we mention?
I mean, those are the...
from the low reads.
Just keep digging. Hook. No, we don't really mention it that much.
There's one...
National Treasure for
sure. There's a couple mid-grade ones that we bring up often.
Charlie St. Cloud.
Yeah.
But whenever we bring Charlie St. Cloud up, it's usually about like, what movie did you like more than the percentage indicates?
Yeah.
And those references don't really count, I would say. It's not like an organic.
It's a direct question, so I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many comparison points, I guess.
Like Arrival and Children of Men are movies that we haven't had as percentages yet that we do talk about a lot.
Yeah. We had a lot of fan feedback for Children of Men. Like we wanted on that poll.
Yeah.
A lot of people. That was pretty close.
Yeah.
A lot of people really wanted that one.
Which one beat it?
Jurassic Park.
Okay.
So I mean,
can't take the heat. Stay out of the Rex den. You know what I mean?
If we ever do a what's it called? Like a redemption round where we take all of our like best rejected polls, that would be kind of fun, and pit them against each other.
We're already stretching this out.
And I'm just saying, if we did, I would vote that one. Probably. It
would be a 30 option poll.
I mean, we could take
rejected movie.
We could take the highest ones,
and then every week we take whatever's in last place out of the poll.
We could set it up, dude. You're good with Excel.
Yeah. How would we all vote on an Excel doc?
You would just track.
You mail it around.
The scores. That's what you do.
Check a box and then you mail it to the next person.
You track the scores.
Yeah.
And we'd pick like the top 5 or something.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll get that started and we'll let you guys know.
Yeah.
Scott's giving me a very FU face. So
well, it's already too late. We don't have the scores of the old ones.
I can give them to you.
Did you write them down?
I mean, they'd be saved on the interwebs.
The Twitter ones would be, but
they're all separate polls. So
okay.
Yeah, I could just pull them back up.
Cool. Yeah, so we're good. Let's do it. That's our show.
All right.
That poll would be a real beast.
Wow. What
a beautiful sentence.
Was a beauty.
Here we are. Max, what's the plot synopsis for 2017's live action version of Beauty and the Beast?
I don't know, but I'll tell you the 1991 animated.
I actually do want to hear both of them. Okay. I wonder how different they are. In theory, they should be identical.
In theory. The second one just should not exist.
Oh shit. Dude.
Yeah, it's the same one, actually, on IMDb. A selfish prince is cursed to become a monster for the rest of his life unless he learns to fall in love with a beautiful young woman he keeps prisoner.
Cool.
I mean, that's the plot of the film, but really the curse was unless he, learns the value of like true love or something. Yeah. So
it's like if you become a person that can be loved.
Yeah, yeah. So one thing that stuck out to me on this watch, let's just get right to this point here.
Holy shit.
How old was the Beast when Prince Adam, when he got cursed?
Because
it's the curse expires on his 21st birthday or something. They say something like that. They say like he has to find love before he's 21.
Huh. They make it seem like a long time has passed.
Yeah.
Because the mansion is like abandoned and no one knows about it.
But then during Be Our Guest, they keep referencing 10 years. They're like 10 years since we've had guests. It's very strange.
So he was 11. He was a real asshole 11-year-old.
As soon as I looked it up, because I was like, how old is? Because it was in the back of my head, and I was like, what age is he? And when I started looking it up, people were like, is he 11? Blah blah blah. Very confused about it. And I guess they address that in quotations in the 2017 release by just removing those references.
Yeah, and it's just Dan Stevens.
Yeah, who's like my age. So
yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that just kind of stuck out to me.
I never really thought.
And the stained glass, the beginning opens with a really cool stained glass sequence, and he looks like a teenager at least.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's very confusing. But
how old is
the
Belle?
point you made is very strong, which is like the castle's dilapidated, which could be magic, dark magic, or whatever.
Yeah.
But then also like nobody in town seems to really know too much.
That's the thing. Like if it was just 10 years, there'd be people in town who'd be like, oh yeah, the old Adams Mansion, they used to have the hella parties.
But then I also wonder, like,
the baker would be like, I used to make a lot of bread for that dude, and then suddenly he only wanted venison. In
defense of the movie, though, I will say everyone in town is pretty stupid.
That is true,
and they go out of their way to make that evident.
The way they make it most evident is by like making a total mockery of the act of reading. Yeah.
Everyone thinks Belle's a freak because she reads books.
Yeah. Gaston was like, how can you read this? There aren't pictures, which barely makes sense.
Yeah.
But
hey, Gaston, man, that guy's nuts.
He's the hero of the story.
He's not, but traditionally he's painted as he would be the hero.
He is like a setup as the traditional, like the handsome prince. Stud.
Yeah.
When we were watching, especially during the scene when after Papa Mo, as he's called in the movie, by nobody, when he gets back and he's trying to get people to go save his daughter, and then Gaston is rallying the townsfolk to go like kill the beast. He was using a lot of the same rhetoric that certain Republican officials use in like immigration debates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was actually disturbing how on the nose it was.
Yeah, and the crowd, like groupthink, was jumping in on it. Yeah. So it was like watching some rallies on TV.
Yeah, like one line that stood out to me was when he said, "The beast is taking our jobs."
Yeah.
Owen, you got anything to say?
Speaking of Republicans.
Fuck off, John Voight.
But yeah, I mean, that is a good point actually about how those kind of moments do strike home. You can find something recognizable in this film in that way. And also the way Gaston...
It is a tale as old as time.
It is. The way Gaston just kind of like saunters through that first song he has. He's like all sad that he's been rejected, but... what's the dude's name?
LeFou,
whatever it is. He's trying to build up his boy again, which is funny because it's like he's just a little twerpy guy. But I wonder what his motivations are. Is he genuinely just that much of a fan of this guy? Or is he like, this is my meal ticket?
The implication, or they imply in the 2017 one that
he's like in love with him.
That LeFou's gay and is in love with Gaston, and if you watch this movie with that lens, you could kind of accept it
barely, but yeah.
I saw it more as like a business partners kind of thing. Yeah. Like Gaston, he seemed to be like a successful playboy kind of.
Yeah.
And so like there's always the actual worker.
He's his turtle, basically, from Entourage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've watched enough episodes of Entourage to understand that. I haven't watched any.
But no, in the Gaston song, which I believe is called Gaston, that we were in tears laughing.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's ever struck me as that funny before. Like, it was like, this is funny. But I think we were both like crying laughing during that scene.
It was we both had like the same types of things that would happen that would make us crack up. For you, it was a funny noise.
Yeah.
Whenever a funny, weird noise would happen.
There's a couple.
It was whenever Gaston just punched someone.
He's really violent.
Yeah. Like at the start of that song, when LeFou, like even before the music starts, he's talking about like how great Gaston is.
Yeah.
And I believe Gaston like picks him up by the throat and just punches him in the face.
Across the room.
And then the song starts.
It's amazing.
It was hilarious.
But it's a good way to paint a character there.
Yeah.
Because it establishes everything you need to know. The first song, Belle, establishes this world perfectly.
Yeah. This provincial town.
Yeah. And then there must be more. Then this one, really establishes your villain. And I was telling you, I do love a good villain song.
Yeah, right.
Some of my favorite songs. Yeah.
From The Lion King?
Then the Ursula song.
Yeah.
What's it called?
The The Ursula song.
It's good enough. Yeah. Poor Unfortunate Souls.
Oh, yeah.
Forgive me for forgetting that. But yeah, so I mean, I love a good, like, establishing song like that. Yeah. And Disney does those really well.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, this Disney Renaissance period, these were all just really good musicals, right?
Yeah. And I think that's the key is, like, they wrote them as if you were making an actual either Broadway or, like, old school film musical.
At least some of them. Maybe not all of them, like
during the
Hercules or Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, I don't even think Lilo and Stitch is a full musical.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Beauty and the Beast is.
Yes, it is. And on that point, all the songs in this film were the last complete works for Academy Award winner Howard Ashman. Ashman actually died 8 months prior to the release of the film. I believe he was HIV positive. But so these songs are iconic, and it's a great way to to have your work remembered. Honestly, so I just thought that was worth mentioning because we rarely come across any figures like that and anything we've looked at so far. And this
and it's a bummer.
We do love these songs, and I mean,
if he passed before the movie,
he got to see his
came out and got all the reception. Like 3 of his songs were nominated for Best Original Song.
Yeah,
and they probably could have had more.
Yeah. I mean, that is a bummer.
Beauty and the Beast, Be Our Guest, and Belle were all nominated.
Yeah, they could have nominated just every song in the movie, basically. Yeah. So, and then I wonder also if he was with us, like, would he have gone on to do further Disney movies and make further magic like this?
Yeah, so. He could have fixed Aladdin, maybe. Am I right? I'm not.
Wow, he's not. So originally Disney was going to make this film back in the day, like right after Snow White. And,
when did Snow White come out?
Like 36 or something like that. But
then Hitler's War Machine.
No, I think it was like 56. I'm way off on that date. Hold on.
My Hitler's War Machine joke might not stick then.
No, it was 37. Cool. I'm right.
But then Hitler's War Machine invaded right through that provincial town in Europe.
But then also, so I guess it wasn't right after, but within the decade after Snow White, they were thinking of making that one. And I guess there was a French Beauty and the Beast film live action that got released around 1946. Mm-hmm. And so they kind of held off from doing it because they couldn't make the story work in a way they liked. And so they just shelved the idea.
What's interesting is now I feel like you see those kind of dual versions of the movies, The Jungle Book and Mowgli.
Yeah.
And instead of shelving Mowgli, they just give it to Netflix.
Yeah.
Zing!
Damn.
Hit that Seinfeld music. Owen, where were you earlier at your cue?
Owen's off key today. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see the development of this film.
There was a lot of weird stuff in the...
Yeah.
How many writers are we talking about? Stop me when I'm there. 1.
No.
2.
Just
3.
Jump like 5 ahead.
4. 9. 10.
I think did 11. We say 13? Was that it?
13 if you include the original story writers who did not get credits.
Yeah.
But 11 people got writing credits.
And like I said...
It's a nightmare.
I know for sure there was... what was her name? Linda Wolverton had written the story that they used to base... I mean, the story obviously existed, but wrote the beats into a story form that they used. I know she kind of set off the chain there. Yeah. Obviously... I'm guessing. I'm not sure if Ashman would get credits for his song work, but I feel like that might go into
not writing credits, but he got music.
The music credits. Yeah. I always wonder with a musical film. This is my question: in a musical, if the song is literal dialogue in the film, would you not also get writing credit in some form?
I don't know. I mean, it is interesting to wonder.
I just wonder. Yeah. But, I mean, it's one of those things with when you see a long list of names.
Would you want the writing credit?
It depends, I guess.
Because when you're in the music world, the writing credit probably doesn't actually matter to you.
Yeah, that's true.
The music is the big
the composition
for
and
us,
the lyrics.
You much more so than I, but are very interested in writing stories and even writing films. The writing credit is a big win. But
I guess you're given the story beats probably to kind of work the songs off of. So I get what you're saying, I just wonder, I mean, obviously if you wrote...
They're well-written songs.
If Scott Tennant wrote a musical himself, you would get full running credits if you wrote the full thing.
This is the perfect time to announce my musical. It's not, actually. It's not ready. It's still in development.
Yeah. One day.
Yeah, Damien Chazelle won't return my calls.
Huh.
It's called La La Land 2, but it's an original movie.
La La Lander.
The La La Landist. To La, to land.
La La Land.
One of the interesting things about the movie, I mean, 11 writers, and there was like a late script rewrite and everything, so that was kind of weird. But then when they released it, its release date was November 15th, I believe, of 1991, and it only opened in 2 theaters, and then it expanded to like 90 theaters. And
you
then
broke my brain when you told me this.
Yeah. It's so hard to imagine not only just a Disney movie, but an excellent Disney animation movie.
Yeah.
Not just being total gangbusters.
Yeah, especially with the legacy this one has.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Best Picture nominee. Did it win?
No, Silence of the Lambs.
Okay, that's fair.
It did win a couple of Oscars, but
deservedly so. Yeah. But no, just knowing that in my head, I would think, boom, wide release.
And it wasn't the kind of thing you see where a movie will come out in a few theaters the weekend before New Year's, just so that it can get qualification for that prior year and then have wide release. This was like, it was just a weird thing.
How many?
We were reading that as of like September, when it was showing at a festival or something, it was like 70% finished.
Its first few festival showings. I know the New York Film Festival, I think, was the one we saw. I think 70%. That's actually what people do call it.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's about 70% done, and then I know they did a non-competitive screening at the Cannes Film Festival as well. Interesting.
Yeah,
but I wonder,
would have been before before NIF.
So I wonder how complete it was then.
Yeah. But, it was actually just the songs.
Yeah, maybe. Which Disney used to do. Like, I mean, previews were a big thing where they would show a little bit of what they're working on. I remember some films would end with like the VHS copy might have like a little sneak preview of what's coming and stuff like
animation, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, because you're working on it for years.
Yeah, a finished section done.
Yeah, and my only thought, and I said this kind of when we were talking about it earlier. Maybe it was part of their grand marketing scheme to just have small little releases here or there just to build up word of mouth buzz. Like, they did a limited release. But I don't know. I mean, we'd have to find someone who talks about it or some strategy.
Plus the 1991 marketing scene for movies was probably totally different than today's.
Yeah.
You don't have social media.
Yeah.
Trailers were very important then.
And word of mouth is
watching trailers all the time. Like, when you go to the theater, you probably saw a trailer for the first time. And that might be the only time you really saw it.
Yeah.
So
that is true. I mean, you would get TV spots and stuff like that. But then word of mouth then was very much still delivered by news in the end. Yeah. So it's like, they only did a limited release. That would still be like you'd hear it in your morning or your radio news.
Yeah.
Still existed, but definitely not as fast as it is now. Yeah. So it's very interesting, very intriguing.
Yeah, but
we haven't done an answer
research this to see if other Disney movies had similar releases to this at all.
We can look into it for later.
It's definitely, it felt weird to me, but it didn't affect its box office success.
Yeah.
We're talking a cool 219 mil domestic.
That's 1991 money.
Let's add in another 200 worldwide.
Damn.
And that's on a $25 million budget. Let's talk about making money, Max. Boom. It did.
Yeah, Disney, I mean, they know how to do it. And they knew how to do it for sure back then.
Yeah.
And
if it weren't for Beauty and the Beast, Fox would still be its own thing. I'm just saying.
Well, you know one thing. If it wasn't for Beauty and the Beast, Pixar might not have such a good career.
Oh.
You want to know why?
No.
Okay.
No, please do.
Well, so one thing we noticed, and everybody knows about this film if you've seen it, is the beautiful kind of CG dance sequence.
It's still the hand-drawn graphics.
Yeah,
but
the cell animation's still there in the forefront, but you have this like background that's like made with a computer generated system, and it surprisingly still looks good for 1991 CG.
It still suits the hand drawn.
It blends well. You can tell that it's different, but it doesn't hurt the film.
Like you notice it, but it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb.
It's basically kind of noticeable because it's very obviously like 3-dimensional. Yeah. So they used a system called CAPS, which I believe is Computer Animation Production System.
Oh yeah, CAPS.
And it was designed basically by Pixar because at the time, I know Apple had some money in Pixar, but Disney had like a lot of money in Pixar. I'm not sure if this was, I think Toy Story was just still a concept by this point because Toy Story is 93, 95?
Oh, it's much later than that.
I feel like it's 95.
I want to say 97.
95. Yeah. So Toy Story came out.
It's much later than that.
But what I was going to say is you can find really early concept like production animation for Toy Story from I think like as early as 88 when they were pitching it. So they obviously had a lot of the technology in its infancy.
Yeah.
And so one of the big things with this was they were able to move a camera completely on a Z-axis while animating. So you have your X, Y, which you can do animation, but to move it in different directions, which is something we noticed was how, and you could do that with traditional animation. It just takes a lot of work to animate the cells out that way.
It's a much bigger challenge.
And you can catch it in this film, and it looks amazing when they do it. Like, it looks really good. And that's the whole dance number is they're rotating around them. It's amazing. They just float around.
It mimics like an actual cameraman.
Exactly.
Like on a dolly or something.
And so basically when people saw how successful it worked in this film, that's when people were like, oh, this is a real thing. And this is coming down the pike, and we need to be ready for this. Yeah. And I believe Pixar probably already had the go-ahead. I mean, it would have taken years to make the first Toy Story, but I believe this was like when people knew that, this is coming and this is going to be big.
And it's the future.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously now it's like if you go to see a Disney animated film, it's CG.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, what's the last time there was like a non-CG, non-claymation big animated movie?
I know for sure it might have been Brother Bear as far as Disney. As far as Disney.
What about Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron?
It's around the same era. Yeah. But I don't know which one.
But you don't see it. You don't see that at all. Because Brother Bear, I mean, those were like 2008, right? Like at the
before latest. I would say 2004-ish for Brother Bear and Spirit.
I'm off on my my dates these days, but. You know what, though? We should do a hand-drawn, like, maybe we can zig when everyone else zags.
I love it when you want to zig and put it back. I mean, I think we would quickly find out how much work it is.
It's definitely a lot of work. Yeah. You know, I'm not going to diminish that. I'll say from the onset here, you know, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a market for it, man.
I mean, there definitely still is a market, but I will say they basically, even if you do a cartoon now that looks 2D and looks hand-drawn, it's probably still CG in some sense.
Yeah, but we're looking at our animation studios, Breakdown Animation. We're looking to really capture that Disney Renaissance feel, you know?
All right.
What will our first animated movie be? And see, here's the beauty. We can finally execute all those ideas that can't exist in a human world, you know?
So Mac and Me Too. The court case.
Animated. An animated courtroom drama.
Yes.
The thing about Mac and Me Too is that it's very dark. It's very dark. NC-17 is what I was thinking.
How do you do an NC-17 court drama?
Just wait till they check in that evidence. Mac was disturbing.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, part of the whole thing that I'm going for with Eminem 2 being NC-17 is like I get more marketing for it, you know?
Oh yeah.
Because like I'll admit right now to you, to God, and to our audience, I'm probably not getting a theatrical release for Mac and Me Too.
Yeah.
But
especially because you're gonna dub it in its original Aramaic, so
yeah.
And
I'm really going for a big VOD push, you know. So I'm hoping the NC-17 rating as an NC-17 hand-drawn animation courtroom drama, I think, has a market.
Yeah, well,
there's a fan base out there clamoring for it.
Regardless, there is still definitely a Beauty and the Beast fan base.
Okay.
And now there's the Pixar one, you know, as well. So
what?
The Pixar fan base.
I thought you meant a Pixar Beauty and the Beast. No. I was like, I missed that.
That'd be a lot better than the live-action one, wouldn't it?
I tried watching the live-action one, the 2017 release. The music is worse across the board.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, without the animation, all the scenes are just like normal places. And that's not interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't like the design of the beast. He was like a big, weird buffalo on its hind legs.
Which, in a sense, the cartoon one is too, but you can make it more exaggerated.
Yeah. I didn't enjoy it. All of the servants of the beast who were turned into various household items, they all just looked really creepy to me in the 2017 one. In the cartoon, they are playful and they are animated.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you can have very anthropomorphic things in a cartoon that work very well. And you can do that. You can do that in, you know, like a more traditional live action sense. But you have to have like a lot of vision, and you have to be able to do it, you know, in a way that doesn't either create uncanny valley and creep people out or just look too hokey.
Yeah.
It's, not everyone can get it done right, but some can.
And director Bill Condon didn't. In my opinion.
I'm not trying to diss Condon.
Yeah,
I mean, he's done...
a lot of it probably wasn't even on the director, but I just didn't think it was a very good movie.
No, I mean, I've never had a desire to watch it, and
this was my second attempt.
I made it further. You pitched us grouping it, and Jody was down. Jody was like, "Yeah, let's check it out. Let's go." And I was like, "All right." Yeah. I'd given her the decision power there, and then you were like, "I'm actually tired, so I'm not going to do it."
Yeah, so. And then I did. I tried.
But no, I mean, the quality from the trailers to me is pretty evident because, no offense to Emma Watson, I like Emma Watson, but her singing didn't sound that good. It sounded very auto-tuned.
I don't like Emma Watson, and I don't think she was a great choice. I think she's an overrated actress.
I'm just saying I like her, but she's all eyebrow. All eyebrow.
I'm clarifying that I don't like her.
Like, I disagree with your opinion.
No, I mean, she was fine as Hermione, but like if they were casting the 18-year-old Hermione instead of the 9-year-old Hermione and Emma Watson, I don't think she would have been the choice. Damn. Like all of them were lucky to an extent. I mean, not that they weren't good kid actors, but to have a series that you literally grow up with the characters, like they're not going to recast and stuff like that. It's like you're set. You know?
Yeah.
But anyways.
No, man, you're right there.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure she's been good in some stuff. I liked Perks of Being a Wallflower, which she was in, but she was my least favorite part of it. Mm-hmm. So
I haven't even seen too many things with her.
Yeah. She was in The Circle, which was a big flop.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. Colonia, which I didn't see.
Yeah, which I heard of today.
The Bling Ring.
Which was a big flop. Yeah. So,
keep it up, Emma Watson.
Yeah. I mean, this wasn't supposed to be an anti-Emma Watson.
No, it's not.
But now that we're here...
Anti the Beast. That's what it's anti.
Oh.
Not really.
Oh.
I like the Beast.
My mom is on record, and by record I mean she's told me. So now she's on record.
Yeah.
Is saying that the Beast, once he turns back into the human from Adam, Prince Adam, is like the most handsome Disney prince.
She can't say Aladdin. I mean, your dad would be very upset about that.
I mean...
Shots fired, I'm sorry, to the Ted family. I'm just making a joke here.
I'm not going to make any comments on it. The good news is there's no way he'll hear it.
Yeah, that's true.
But just if you do pop, it was Max. I didn't prod him. I didn't go that commentary out of him.
Well, let me make it more awkward for you.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to do that. My mom's gone on record to say that I think when I was watching Terminator 2 one time, she said that Arnold Schwarzenegger was like one of the most attractive men ever. I think he was naked on screen at the same time too, so it was very weird for me.
She's like, Maxie, leave the room.
And then when
Terminator 2 won Best Sound the same year that Beauty and the Beast was nominated.
There you go. And then my mother-in-law one time on the record noted that Dwayne Johnson was very attractive. Yeah. I think we were watching his Hercules film. And I think she leaned over to me and said, he's very attractive. And I was like, okay. So,
I mean, all of the above are very attractive.
Yeah, including the cartoon Prince Adam.
They've all had their moments.
Yeah, so, I mean, the plot of this movie, everyone knows it. You know, she trades herself for her dad, who's
very
a prisoner.
Silly, by the way.
Yeah, it's based off an old fairy tale folklore story, but basically she takes this spot and
this life debt.
Yeah, she's supposed to be a prisoner for life.
Also, what a weird adjudicating system, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's dark magics, dude.
So life sentence, someone can trade for it. You know, I mean, I just think that's weird.
Dude, magic isn't supposed to make sense.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, like, for example, I mean, was he going to try to fall in love with Maurice?
Yeah.
That's a different movie right there, man.
That's the movie I'll write. Beauty and Maurice.
Beauty and Maurice. I love it. I mean, because, like, he's just keeping him prisoner.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 years. Maybe he's been there for hundreds of years, and the last guest they had was 10 years ago.
Maybe once you're...
Maybe it was, like, Belle's mom or something, and that's who he kidnapped last time.
I was going to say maybe once you're a clock, you lose sense of time, but there's an irony to that.
Yeah, there is. Be like if Lumiere was, like, the darkest one there, that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah. And the feather duster was a dirty girl.
Wow.
I'll say it because I know you think it as well, and so you don't even have to say anything afterward.
I don't feel bad if you break your elbow.
And accept that what I'm about to say is both of our opinions. But that feather duster was fine as hell. As a feather duster.
I can't argue with you because of the rules you just laid down.
Yes, exactly. That'll be my new hot takes, is where I'm going to make a hot take and I set it up for about a minute prior by saying that it's also your opinion and that you won't fight it.
That's my opinion.
A lot of Vine references.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What a day.
I'm sorry. So yeah, I mean, it's strange, man. Some of this movie is strange.
It flies by.
It's very fast, very well paced.
Yeah, a cool 90 minutes, but just boom, gone. Rear view mirror.
Yeah. You know who's the real hero?
Beast.
Philippe, the horse.
Oh yeah, Philippe the horse was the real hero.
Philippe's my boy, man.
Yeah.
He does everything right.
Yeah, he made all the journeys he needed to. Yeah. He was the trustworthy one, you know. And then in the live action one, they take all the credit away from Philippe. It really bugs me.
Yeah.
Like Philippe at the start when the path forks and Maurice is like, let's go down this dark path. And Philippe's like, no, let's not. And then Maurice is like, you're just a stupid horse. We're going this way. And then they get attacked by wolves.
Yeah.
In the live action movie, there's no Philippe trying to go to the other way. Like a branch falls in the other path, and so they have to go that way.
It feels like they just took all the interesting things of the movie and made it as boring as possible.
Everything that was on the margins, that wasn't the main part. It was just a little detail they kind of left out. And this is in the half hour I watched. Yeah. But in the animated movie, Maurice is kind of crazy. He has that crazy log cutting machine where he needed an already cut log in order to cut it into a smaller log.
To get launched 7 feet away.
Yeah, it had to be exactly that far from the wood pile.
Yeah.
And in the live action one, he's just a generic tinkerer. I think he was making watches or something. And when he was going off to this contest, to this invention contest, with his chop and toss. Yeah. But in this one, I think he was just going to Paris or something to sell
watches.
Yeah.
So were they able to call him? I guess you didn't get that far.
Crazy Maurice?
Yeah.
Probably.
What, from maybe
he probably read books.
He's a conspiracy theorist or something.
Crazy Maurice.
Yeah, he's the gay frogs are coming for us. So
he's like, who built the Eiffel Tower?
Do we really know?
That's a really good Alex Jones.
Thanks, I've been practicing.
Yeah. Well, they just removed his podcast from Spotify. We can slide right in. Led by that.
Maybe.
We should get on Spotify. Are we on Spotify?
I'd have to cut off some of our episodes to do that. Yeah. We talked about it. No. Fans, if you're listening, vote and tell us if you want us on Spotify, because we'll just cut off half our episodes.
But do they have to be a certain length, or is it songs?
It's we used a lot of material we don't technically own the rights.
Fair use. We didn't make money off it, so.
That's true. We probably spent more money on it. So.
We have lost a lot of money on
it. Guys. That's why we're now selling supplements. So
nice. If I close my eyes, I can't even tell.
Yeah. My shirt's off now and I'm beet red. That's why. It's ingrained in his eyes. He can't unsee it.
Talk about a real beast, or a real beauty. Inner beauty. Yeah.
No, but this is a good movie, man.
Yeah, dude.
Disney... At this era, still now, obviously, but at this era.
Yeah, but now there's
Mouse was king.
King Mouse.
King Mickey Mouse.
I'm King Mouse, and welcome to my house, the House of Mouse.
Damn. That's...
That's nothing.
Yeah. I was going to say that's an original quote, and then I realized that doesn't mean anything.
Everything I say is an original quote, right?
Scott Tennant, 2018.
Everything they make now feels a little corporate.
Yeah.
A little,
committee driven. Like Ralph Breaks the Internet looks like a bunch of hats came up with that idea. Yeah. A bunch of suits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Pixar, honestly, they feel more like they have the artistic vision.
Yeah, they kind of do their own things. But even Pixar, I've been disappointed. They've made a lot more sequels lately.
Yeah.
And I think they're on record saying they want to start getting away from sequels and make more originals.
The problem with them, and with any animated feature, is it takes a while to make it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's you have to get these ideas and roll one right away. Yeah. I know with this Disney Renaissance era, it was we were always all excited to see what comes next. You know? Yeah. And you never really knew. You might see concept artwork for a film. Like I said, you might see something like a sneak peek of something. It's coming down 6 years down the road, and 6 years before. That's nuts, man. That's nuts. I mean, there's some of them, even some of the newer ones, like they had ideas for a long time before. So super interesting.
I think the new sneak peek is like the IMAX preview. You know, and usually when you go see a movie in IMAX, they'll have like an exclusive 4-minute clip or something.
Yeah.
And like when I saw Mission Impossible Fallout for the first time, I saw it multiple times. There was a clip from First Man, the Neil Armstrong.
Did it have any of the moon footage on there?
Yes.
I've heard that's intense.
It was only, they were on the moon for 1 second of the clip, but it was like the launch of the Apollo rocket.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
But, because I've heard other movies did you see the IMAX clip, So
that's fair.
The whole point.
So, Disney movies.
Mm-hmm.
You asked me a question the other day.
Yes.
And it was, what is my top 3 Disney songs?
Yeah. That was the question.
And I've been leaping over this question all week, man. Because
I've also given it a lot of thought.
I can narrow it down to 4, but doing 3, that's hard.
Well, what are the 4?
I'll do them in order of the one I like the most because it's the easiest to nail down.
Lock it in.
I'm locking it in. My number 1 Disney song, and I've hinted at it already. Be Prepared from Lion King, sung by Scar and his hyenas.
Jeremy Irons and his hyenas.
I don't know if he did the singing in.
Oh.
I think we looked it up and he didn't, but still, he plays the character of Scar. So
what's funny is I'm not a big Lion King fan. I think it's a good movie, but I haven't rewatched it in over a decade.
Yeah.
I had no memory of Be Prepared until we watched it again.
I've heard rumor that it's not going to be in the new one, which is all the more reason why I'm like, I don't mess with those remakes. But
I can see them not including it because of the serious Nazi imagery of the song, but they could just not put that.
Yeah, you don't need the marching hyena, German
saluting marching.
March, but no, I've always liked the character of Scar. And the thing with Lion King is very much based off of Shakespeare, and I think that's why it's so good. Also, jokes aside, it's a great song. It establishes the villain very well. Gives you motivation, tells you what the protagonist is going to have to worry about. Also, the colors are freaking gorgeous in it. It's a lot of acid greens and shadows and flames and some perks. Yeah. I asked you this question as well. What do you think? Do you think Scar was born Scar, or was his name?
Yeah, that's the thing. There's no way he was born unless it was a birth defect. But don't they cover that it wasn't?
I think Mufasa gave him the Scar, I think is what they hint at or say.
So he's got to have a name.
Yeah, maybe Bradley. I guess it'd be African because everyone has African names.
So probably not Bradley or Steve.
Yeah. His Mufasa and then his son Simba, you have a Nala. I don't know what it would be.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to make one up. I'm sure it wouldn't land well.
No.
So is your number 2 also, is it really down to your last 2 that you're unsure?
Well, I do really like the song Belle from this movie, Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. So that it's a great establishing song, like I said. Yeah. So that would be maybe number 2.
My number 2 is also from Beauty and the Beast.
Ooh. Do you want to do your number 1 before then, or do you want me to do mine?
We'll finish out your list.
Okay. So
what are those last 2, Jocelyn?
So where it gets tough for me is you mentioned also one of the films that I love. You mentioned a Goofy movie.
Oh.
And I freaking love a Goofy movie. It is actually one of my favorite Disney films. The main character's named Max. What do you expect? But After Today is a very good song. It's a very good opener as well. I love a good opener.
It's nice at setting the tone. And,
It gives you, once again, it gives you the whole premise. It gives you what the main character has to worry about.
Yeah.
And it does really set you on the path for the film. So it's a really, really well done one. But then my other one, I don't even know if you've seen this movie. Have you ever seen Oliver and Company?
No.
There's a song in there called Why Should I Worry? And it's I think Billy Joel sings it. It's very good.
Yeah.
And I've always just loved that song. It's not as glamorous as some of these other Disney songs out there, but it's
a real down and dirty Billy Joel.
No, I just mean nobody ever talks about Oliver and Company because it's
I don't even know when it came out.
It's the late 80s, I want to say. 1988.
Okay.
So
do you remember the movie Rock-a-Doodle Doo?
Yeah. Is it
Rock-a-Doodle?
I think it's Rock-a-Doodle, but yeah, I do remember that. That was a good one. Actually, I don't think it was a good one. Was it a good one? I don't remember.
I don't remember it very well.
I
was just wondering.
I remember being excited.
Like, I feel like it came out around 1988.
I remember being excited. I'm going to say it came out in 92.
Okay. I've been bad with my dates, so I'm going to guess 2017.
91.
Oh. It was competing with Beauty and the Beast. I didn't see any Rockadoodle noms on the Oscar list that year.
Yeah. That's Don Bluth, though. He's an interesting animator. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
We don't have to. But
Okay.
God, let's hear your list.
Yeah, so I'm going to start from the bottom.
Ooh, just like our podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. So my number 3 is also my most recent movie. It's my dog Mickey's favorite movie, Moana.
Ooh.
That's How Far I'll Go. It's really good.
Your most recent movie. What do you mean by that?
Of the 3 songs I've chosen.
Oh,
this is from the most recent movie.
Got you.
It's actually the last movie I watched. Even though I mentioned earlier how I watched a movie on my way here, basically.
I just want to clarify for the audience that you didn't write or direct.
No, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
I also wrote and directed.
Just really proud of your work.
My name is actually Lin-Manuel Miranda. It's nice to meet me. My number 2 is from the movie we've talked about today, Beauty and the Beast. It is the titular Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
And I love your version of it.
Thank you.
And I love Alex Jones's version. That's tough to do. A character doing.
Yeah, I'll have to work on that one.
Work on that, please. I always have liked it. The tale as old as time.
Mm-hmm.
Song as old as rhyme. Beauty and the Beast. Yeah.
Pickles soaked in brine.
Is that?
No.
Sprinkle it with thyme. It doesn't work because time was also the first.
I like it though.
Cool.
It does work.
Yeah. Go beat up a mime.
Go beat up a mime. That's good.
But my number 1 is from the horrific, terrible Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Whole New World.
Hey, I already said those songs are ballin'.
Yeah.
I just said the plot, the moral of the story didn't work for me.
I was just, I've been known to be a bit hyperbolic at times.
Never.
Yeah. So I was doing that. It was a bit of a bit.
A bit of a bit.
But in my specific favorite version of A Whole New World is from the Sega Genesis game.
Yeah. We listened to it. It was pretty good.
Yeah. It's like the chip tune.
Yeah. 16-bit music thrown down on it.
It's nice. And in the game, which we had growing up, you were on the carpet, to collect, I believe, apples or stars or something. Apples was a big mechanic of the game.
Yeah, obviously.
But you would collect the apples and throw them at guards, and it would stun them so you could get by.
Yeah.
But this level was different. You were on the carpet, going up and down, collecting things as it scrolled past. And then I just remember at the end, the whole city would shoot fireworks up.
Damn.
Yeah.
Think of the logistics that went to a situation like that. You're catching apples flying around the carpet, and the city starts launching off fireworks. What's going on, man?
Well, when you see this street urchin with your princess flying around on the carpet, you're probably scrambling the jets, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, then you endanger Jasmine.
Do you think they got the fireworks from China? Maybe Milan sent some over as a peace offering or something.
That's possible. I think Jafar was a magician.
Yeah. He
could probably have provided some fireworks.
I wonder. If he's like Gandalf, he could, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Gandalf was big into
magicians and fireworks, yeah.
Speaking of Milan, though, my 4th would be I'll Make a Man Out of You.
That's a good song.
That's a good one.
You mentioned to me that you weren't too fond of the song from Pocahontas that I do like.
Yeah, I just
very specific reason.
I don't love Pocahontas in general.
The story, yeah. I mean, that aspect of Pocahontas I don't like, but it has some good things. It has a pug.
Yeah,
I like a lot of the songs.
Keep the pug, ditch the rest. That's what I say. But there's one song in Pocahontas that reminds me of a hymn that I used to sing growing up in Lutheran church. I forget which hymn and I forget which song, but just something about the beats of it. That's what reminds me. So this isn't the best.
Just Around the River Bend is the song in question.
I might even be thinking of a different Pocahontas song.
Okay.
But
well, when I was playing Just Around the River Bend, you were like, hate this song.
What am I sitting in a pew?
Yeah, and I was like, I don't get it.
My dad's not going to like this episode.
Yeah. Papa T, do not listen to this.
Yeah, I can't remember the specifics. So the story really
Well, I was just mentioning you didn't like it because of the song.
I'll try and think of it. Yeah. Maybe Sarah can help me.
It's kind of irrelevant, but my point was sometimes we just don't like these properties, and that's fine. But Brother Bear is the best movie ever made.
I'm more of a Spirit, Stone, and the Cimarron fan.
I don't think that's a Disney, though.
What? Matt Damon did a voice.
That doesn't...
The House of Mouse doesn't work with Spirit, Stan of the Cimarron.
It's DreamWorks, baby. Oh. It's DreamWorks.
Oh. Well, I stand corrected.
The Bear was 2003, and Spirit was 2002.
Damn. Cool.
You know, it's kind of a shame we didn't pick any Phil Collins songs for this list. I think he threw down for both
Tarzan
and Brother Bear.
Tarzan, well, I know, was a big one.
Yeah, but he went hard on those songs too, man.
Yeah. Metal.
How come Tarzan doesn't have a beard? Does he shave in the movie?
Maybe the diet that he ate in Jungle Lifestyle. Well, yeah, it wasn't conducive because his whole body was very smooth.
That's true. Move over, Prince Adam.
Whoa. In my fanfics, he does.
Wow.
Max, where can the good people find us?
You can find us preparing for our first guests in 10 years, or you can find us... It's like the song.
Oh, I thought we were having a guest in the next episode. I was like, it's news to me.
10 years from now, maybe. But you can find us at thecriticalbreakdown.com. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. We're on all those spots doing our thing.
Yeah.
Doing our thing.
Yeah.
You can find me looking for pictures and books, chatting with some French girls. Or you can find me on Twitter at Max Rivera Film.
You can find me hitting on the feather duster. Or you can find me on Instagram at breakdown_Scott. Or on Letterboxd at Stenan2.
Stenan2.
Read my full thoughts on Black Klansman on Letterboxd. I'm not holding anything back on them spoilers there. And
he probably doesn't even have full thoughts on 2017's Beauty and the Beast, but if
I'll
he
probably
did,
post how I don't.
Yeah.
But Walter's the podcast dog, or the podcast footstool,
or the podcast beast. Our music was done by Jason Brown,
and our art was done by Josh Rivera.
And we're, what are we, Scott?
The podcast boys.
We're the podcast
in this provincial pod.
There must be more than this provincial pod.